Hey, what's up, Divine Ones? It's Latoya Okia. Welcome back to another episode on the Divine Destiny with Latoya podcast show. So if you are new to me, I am a life coach, I'm a minister, and I'm also a business mentor. I train and certify women and men to become life coaches so they can work from home, drop their 9 to 5s, and create an income while making an influence. So if that sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and you have turned on all notifications so you don't miss any videos. I upload new videos every day to my YouTube, and make sure you're following my podcast also. It can be found on all major podcast platforms. Okay, so let me just go ahead and tell y'all my voice gonna sound a little raspy. Okay, gonna sound a little, it ain't gonna be all that smooth. Okay, I'll say that because I'm actually winding down from a long day of coaching and t-shirt orders, and my daughter had cheerleader practice today, so it's I'm winding down for the evening. But I had this message on my mind that came up in our group session that we did tonight. This message came up, the coaches that were on the session, because there's coaches that are certified through my course and come through my organization. They teach on the sessions with us every Tuesday night. To all my ladies, if you have not joined that, our divine membership, make sure you sign up for that. Click the link in the show notes or in the description box. Sign up for that because we meet every Tuesday night. But we were talking about the power of prayer on the last session that we just did, and it came up. We got to talking about Jonah, because I was telling them about, like, with Jonah, he had to cry out to God from the belly of the whale. If you don't know the story, go read the book of Jonah. But Jonah was running. He was running away from doing something that the Lord had called him to do. And I don't want to get too much into the story because I want you to go and read it for yourself or either reread it. But Jonah was running away from doing what God had commanded him to do. And so in him running away, he hopped on this ship. And I'm gonna break this down and make this plain and simple, y'all. I ain't trying to have a whole Bible study or nothing, but I got to give you a little bit about the backstory on this. Which ain't nothing wrong with a little Bible study now. I'm just saying. But so Jonah hopped on the ship, and he was heading another way. He didn't want to go the way that God had told him to go. He didn't want to go do for his own reasons. He didn't want to go do what God wanted him to do. So Jonah was on his own mission, and he was like, you know what? I'm just going, catch this boat right here, and I'm just going to go the other way. I ain't trying to go that way. And so in the midst of him running, what God did was, God didn't bother him. God didn't say nothing to him. God didn't, He didn't deal with him at all. What God did was he sent a storm. He sent the storm. And so Jonah was making a long story short, Jonah was telling the men that was on the ship with him that if they wanted peace on their ship, that they needed to throw him overboard. Now I'm finna bring all this together. I'm finna make all this make sense. Like they said, make it make sense. Because I'm just telling y'all little pieces right now. But this is what God revealed to me from that scripture, from the book of Jonah. Do you not know that you can be blessed by association, and you can also be cursed by association? Do you not know that the reason why your blessings are being blocked, possibly now, the reason why your blessings are being blocked is because of who you in a relationship with, is because of who you have yoked yourself with and who you have married? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that maybe it's the person that I'm sleeping in the bed with at night? Maybe it's not my boss. Okay, maybe it's not my coworkers. Maybe it's not my supervisor. Maybe it's not my family members. Maybe it's not whoever it is that you blaming. Maybe it's who you have yoked yourself with in this season, and who you have associated yourself with, because you may have hooked up with a Jonah. And I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. You don't want to hook up with no Jonah, baby. You don't want to hook up with no Jonah. And what I mean by that is, you don't want to hook up with a man that's running away from his purpose. You don't want to hook up with a man that's running away from doing what God told him to do. Because I just told you what God did when Jonah ran. God didn't go after him. No, God sent the storm. And so what I've seen a lot of times women do, because I did this myself, you have no idea who you getting with. You have no idea who you hooking up with, because you don't ask the right questions. Like Bishop R.C. Blake says, queens ask questions that only kings can answer. You don't ask the right questions. You get in a hurry sometime, and you get with this man, and you never hit on his purpose. You never ask him about his purpose. Y'all never talk about his purpose or his vision for his life. Where is this man going? Not the money that he has or the resources that he has, or, all the swag that he has, but where is he going? Does he know his purpose? Is he actively pursuing a vision that was given to him by God? That's what's important, because if he's not, and he's doing his own thing, and he running away from doing what God has called him to do, you gonna get caught up. You gonna get caught up. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean. When Jonah went and got on that boat, the men that were on that boat, when God sent that storm, guess what? They got caught up in that storm. Just because Jonah was on their boat, they got caught up in that storm. And they was like, wait a minute now. Hold on. I ain't never seen no storm like this before. They was like, we done came this way plenty of time. We do this all the time. And we ain't never seen no storm. We ain't never seen nothing like this before. And see, that's what'll end up happening with you. You probably had the favor of God on your life all your life. God always have moved for you. He always have brought you out of situations. He always has brought you out with more than what you had in the beginning. The favor of God has always been on you. But have you ever wondered, like, whoa, now, wait a minute, what's going on? Why all of a sudden now, what used to work for me, it's not working for me no more. Now, this is not going to apply to everybody, okay? This is not going to apply to everybody, but within your heart of hearts, use your intuition and your own discernment. If you've been doubting the person that you with, if you having second thoughts about your decision to be in that relationship, if you looking at that person you with kind of side eyed, and you watching them while they sleep, like, look at him. Yeah. See, if you doing that, then this message is possibly for you, because you might have associated yourself with a Jonah. You probably done hooked up with a Jonah. And what's going to happen is things start happening to you that'll make you question, like, wait a minute now. It'll make you say things like how those men were saying. We ain't never seen nothing like this. You probably feel like, I ain't never been going through stuff like this before. Oh my goodness. If it ain't one thing, it's another. It's always something. Like, what's going on? And you keep questioning that. Like, what's going on? What's going on is you've connected yourself to a Jonah. And now the storm that wasn't even sent for you, you are now experiencing that storm. I'm talking to somebody. You done found yourself in the midst of a storm that God didn't even send for you. But because you want to be with that person, or because you done fell in love with that person, or because you have a soul tie with that person, or because you may possibly even be married to that person, now their storm has become your storm. I'm talking to somebody, because I was in that for years, baby. Do you understand me? For years. I dealt with that. I kept asking God, what's going on? Why can't I get a break? I couldn't even get a working car. My car used to stay broke down toe up. I couldn't keep a job. I kept moving from job to job. There was no stability. I couldn't keep a home. I kept moving from house to house to house in the midst of that relationship. Why? Because I had connected myself to somebody. Get this now. Catch this. I had connected myself to a Jonah. I had connected myself. I had done jumped on the boat with somebody that was running from God, that was running from their purpose, and was not pursuing their vision, was not pursuing the vision that was given to them by God. I was hooked up with somebody that was trying to do their own thing and go against what God had told them to do. And because of that, a storm that was not even my storm. That storm wasn't even ordered for me. But what happened? I ended up having to endure that storm. I ended up having to go without me and my children for years. I ended up having to be broke, busted, and disgusted. Why? Because I had associated myself with a Jonah. I had linked myself to a Jonah, and I kept hollering about potential. Oh, he has so much potential. Oh, that potential don't mean nothing if it never manifests into the power. And the only way that it's going to manifest into the power is if that man hooks up. Listen to me. He got to become one with his purpose, his God-given purpose. He got to know the purpose of God for his life. And he must be actively pursuing a vision that was given to him by God. That's the only way that potential is going to be able to manifest into power. If he ain't got that, if he ain't got no purpose, he ain't got no vision, all you got is potential, baby. I'm telling you what I know. All you got is potential, and I wouldn't bank on that. I wouldn't spend my life on potential. That's not enough. That's not enough for you to give your whole life up, for you to waste all them years and waste all that time. That's not enough. You need more than just potential. Come on now. So you got to ask yourself today, have I connected myself with a Jonah? Have I connected myself with somebody that's running from their purpose, and the storm that God done sent to them to get them in line? I'm sitting here dealing with a storm. I'm sitting here being rained on. Come on now. Thunder is roaring at me. Lightning is flashing on me. The tides are rising up real high on me, and I ain't even did nothing to nobody. I know I'm talking to somebody. Somebody feels like that. Y'all excuse my voice again, because like I said, I'm winding down for the night. Y'all will probably hear this during the day or whenever, but just understand that at the time of this recording, I was winding down, baby. This is bed chronicles for me. But I want y'all to really get the nuggets from this message now, because there's some nuggets being dropped in here. There's some gems being dropped in this message. Could your spouse, could your mate be blocking your blessings? I see this all the time. I see people that are so talented. They are so gifted. They have what it takes to get to the next level. They have what it takes to be successful. But then I see who they married to. Come on now. I look at who they married to, and I'm like, baby. With that person you got right there, you ain't gonna get out the parking lot. You ain't gonna get out the parking lot. Because you have associated yourself with a Jonah. You have associated yourself with a person that's running from their purpose. How can you walk in your purpose and you connected to somebody that ain't even worried about that type of stuff? Ain't even studying no purpose. The Bible says, how can two walk together except they agree? A house divided against itself will not stand. Will not stand. If you divided in your thinking, you pursuing purpose and they pursuing the world, that's not going to work. And God done sent a storm to get them in line, and then you in the middle of what God trying to do with them folks. I'm talking to somebody. You better get out the way. Like Jonah said, throw me overboard. Some of this stuff, some of these relationships gonna have to be thrown overboard. And like I said, use your discernment with this, because you know whether you truly happy or not. You know if you truly getting what you need from that relationship or not. You know if it seemed like things been going left for you ever since you got with this person. And I'm going to tell you how you know if somebody was bringing value to your life or not. Cut them. Like they said, if you love something, let it go. Let it go. Stop trying to fight for it and let it go. Now, if you married, seek extra help, okay? Don't make a final decision from this podcast episode. If you are married, please seek marriage counseling or get with a marriage coach. Please. That's a disclaimer for my married folks. But you, like I said, use your discernment. Use your discernment with this. Could your mate be blocking your blessings? Possibly so. Like I said, I've seen it happen over and over and over, and it's happened to me. In the same way that can work for bad, that could also work for good. When you have the favor of God on you, you connect with somebody, guess what? Boom. Now they get your favor. Now they get your favor. I have been in relationships. I have been in a relationship with a man, and he was trying to get a certain job and couldn't get that job. But when he got in a relationship with me, boom, he got that job. He got that job. Me and him both know that he would have never got that job, would have never had that job had he not been with me. And we was praying together for him to get that job. And I helped him with the testing for that job. You see what I'm saying? See, when you favored and when you blessed, people can be blessed just by association with you, just by being with you, or being in your presence, or being friends with you, or doing business with you. They can be blessed just by association. But the same thing goes for when you connect yourself with somebody that's running from their purpose and running away from what God has commanded them to do. You'll get caught up in the crossfire. And like I said, that storm that God sent for them, God ordered that storm. Let me tell you something, baby. The worst thing you could ever do is get in the way of a storm that God ordered for somebody else. You'll get yourself messed up. You'll get tore out the frame, baby. You will get chewed up and spit out. Do you understand me? Because that done happened to me before. Don't you get caught up in the crossfire. Don't you get caught up in a storm that God ordered for somebody else. You trying to be there for somebody and they can't even receive you being there for them. Have y'all ever been like that? Oh, I know I have. You sitting up there putting your all into that relationship. You trying to be there for them and they don't even want you there. Oh my God, I'm talking to somebody. If I ain't talking to nobody else, I'm talking to me. Because I testify, Reverend. Oh, that was me. Sitting up there going all out my way. Y'all know how you'll do. You go all out your way to be there for a person that didn't even ask you to be there and don't even want you there. And ain't even respecting you. Ain't even giving you the respect that you deserve. And this person gets sick or have to go to court or anything. Oh, you the first one. You the first one in the hospital. You won't even go home and change clothes because you don't want to leave them folks side. See what I'm saying? You ride or die. You hanging in there. Why is you weathering a storm that God didn't even order for you? You taking on battles that God didn't even order you to fight because you done hooked up with a Jonah. The best thing you can do is throw him overboard. Because see, God got a fish prepared for him. I feel the power of God. Just like he had with Jonah, baby. God got a fish prepared for him. In other words, God got some situation. God got some circumstances that he got to put on that man in order to get that man to change. And you standing in the way, trying to hold him on that boat, you better throw him overboard. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, you going to cry. You going to cry in the car. Oh, yes, baby. You going to cry in the car. But let not your heart be troubled, baby. Like my grandma tell us, trouble don't last always. You can't cry forever. Go on and cry. It's going to hurt. I had to cry many days, many nights. Ain't nothing wrong with crying. But just know who you crying to. You crying to a God that got all power in his hands. He can do all things but fail. He cannot fail and he cannot lie. Don't you let the enemy see you cry. Come on now. You go home and cry to your father in secret. Glory be to God. Don't you get caught up in no storm that God didn't ordain for you. Throw that stuff overboard. And God got a fish prepared for him that's going to swallow him up. And then he gonna have to hit rock bottom, just like Jonah did. Jonah had to hit rock bottom in the belly of that fish, in the belly of that whale. He had to cry out to God. Jonah 2:2, that's the scripture. Y'all look it up. He said, by reason of my affliction, I cried out unto the Lord from the belly of hell, and he heard me. See, that man got to hit a certain point in his life. He got to hit rock bottom. And when he hit rock bottom, that's when he gonna find God. That's when he gonna realize that, man, I can't run from my purpose. I got to do what God want me to do. But he will never get that revelation if you standing in the way. He will never get that revelation if you holding him on the boat. Let him go. Let him go. So that fish can swallow him up. Glory be to God. And what that means is let him go so he can go on about his business. He gonna have to go through some stuff. See, God got to take him a certain way. Everybody don't get saved the same way. Everybody don't find their purpose the same way. For some folk, baby, God have to put the belt on them folks. They ain't gonna listen to God. They ain't gonna do what God telling them to do. God got to whoop them. He got to put the belt on them. And if you sitting up there with them, you gonna get the belt too. Glory be to God. I'm telling y'all what I know. Because God was whooping on me for a long time. I'm thinking, I ain't did nothing. Nobody was wrong with me. God, let these folk go. And I'm going to tell you something else. When you throw it overboard, watch how peaceful your ship going to be. Watch how peaceful your sail going to be. Oh, baby, when you throw them overboard, in other words, when you let this toxic relationship go, when you get that man to God and stop trying to fix him and heal him yourself, and you let God do what only God can do with him, watch how God bless you, baby. Ooh. And the Bible says that the blessing of the Lord make it rich and added no sorrow to it, baby. I know what God will do. I know how he blessed me. I'm more blessed now being by myself, being solo with just me and my children. I have never been this blessed before. I'm telling y'all what I know, baby. I'm seeing breakthroughs like I ain't never seen before. And I ain't just talking about in my business. I'm talking about in my health. Glory be to God. With my children, glory be to God. Breakthroughs in every area of my life. I'm meeting people from all over the world. Glory be to God. God is manifesting himself in my life, and he did it because I threw that stuff and I threw them folks overboard. I threw it overboard. Did it hurt me? Yes, it hurt me, baby. Yes, it hurt me. It hurt me to my heart. I didn't have 3 children just to get a divorce and raise them children by myself. I didn't do that. I didn't sit there and have them children just to be by myself. I never planned to be by myself. I never planned to get a divorce. But see, God said you got to come to that point in your life where you got to make a decision. Is you going to keep going through a storm that wasn't ordered for you, that was not ordained for you? You going to keep sitting there in that because you just love them so much? Baby, you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. Glory be to God. I'm speaking some facts to y'all tonight from this bed, baby. I thought I was finna just lay over and just going on to sleep, but the Holy Spirit is dealing with y'all tonight, baby. This is Bed Chronicles. Throw him overboard and watch how you gonna get promotions. Woo. Baby, you gonna get bonuses. You gonna get raises. Favor is gonna find you. I'm telling y'all what I know. Things that seem like they was locked up from you for so long, get rid of them folks. Get rid of that man. Get rid of that toxic relationship and watch and see how your life shifts. Watch and see. Watch and see. You think you need them. You don't need them. You don't need nobody but God and your purpose. That's all you need. And when God get ready for you to have somebody, he'll send them folks. He'll send them folks. But don't you be holding on to nobody. Throw that overboard. Throw them folks overboard. Glory be to God. You robbing Peter to pay Paul. You broke, busted, and disgusted. You ain't got no joy. You ain't got no peace. But you still hanging on to that relationship. Throw it overboard. Throw it overboard. And let them folks go on by their business. Because like I said, God got to put the belt on them. God got to deal with them. See, you thinking they gonna change like you change. For some folks, it take the belt, baby. It It take the extension cord. It takes some of everything. God have to pull out all his tools on some of his children to get them to change. Because everybody don't change just like that. Now, you want to go through all that with that man? See, that's what I had. I had to make a decision. That Toya, if you stay here, if you stay in this marriage, if you stay on this boat, everything that man going through, you going to go through it with him. You and your children going to go through it with him. Now, who you love more? God told me I had to make a decision. Who do you love more? Who do you love more? Come on now. I told y'all you got to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, you can't even love nobody else the right way. You got to love yourself first. And then you got to connect with somebody else that love theyself too. They got self-love too. They got morals. They got character. They got standards. They got integrity too. Glory be to God. Don't you hook up with no Jonah, baby. Don't you hook up with no Jonah. And Jonah knew God. Jonah had a knowledge of God. Jonah knew who God was. And he knew the character of God. And he knew what God was able to do. That's not to say the person you with is a bad person. Or that they don't know God. They may know God. But they not doing what God done told them to do. They not abiding by what God done spoke over their life. They done chose to go their own route and do their own thing. Now, if you don't want to get caught up in that storm, let it go. Throw it overboard. I love y'all so much. I am Latoya Okia. Click the link in the description if you're interested in becoming a coach. I do train and certify women and men to become life coaches. So y'all join me. You're welcome to join me every Sunday for my free conference calls for new life coaches. Or even if you've been coaching for quite a while, you're still welcome to join us. I offer free tips, helpful tools and strategies and techniques that you can use in your life coaching business. So that's every Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Central. You just need to join my mailing list. If you've already joined, you don't need to join again. Just join my mailing list and I will email you all the information for the conference call. So I love you all and I'll check in with y'all later.